told me they lost something. That's fine. I am plenty strong on my own. It is my absolute pleasure to see you all here today. My name is Ben Workman Smith, and I'm the choir director here at Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. Part of my job is that twice a year, I get to prepare an all-music Sunday for you. And today, I wanted the theme of that Sunday to be lullaby. And I wanted us to devote this next hour to the themes that lullaby gives to us. One of the ways that I came about this theme idea is my very good friend Benjamin Wade wrote his master's thesis on how lullaby gives culture. And before I call the choir up, I want to read you the abstract of this thesis. Lullabies, often perceived as simple melodies sung to soothe children, are rich repositories of cultural wealth that transmit values, oral history, and social expectations from caregivers to children. Drawing from interdisciplinary fields including anthropology, neuroscience, child development, pediatrics, psychology, sociology, and musicology, this thesis employs case studies as a descriptive research methodology to investigate the enculturative effects of lullabies and their influence on the cultural development of children. The thematic and musical content of lullabies are examined in order to understand the intersectionality and impact on enculturation. Through a structured and holistic framework, analyzing the conditions surrounding the performance and audience of lullabies, termed the lullaby environment. This review elucidates the role of lullaby in shaping developmental qualities in children, such as somatic well-being and regulation, lingual development, and tonal and harmonic perception in children, as well as the transmission of ethno-cultural qualities, such as values, religion, cosmology, and identity. My friend spent 6 months researching how we sing I love you in the nighttime. And today, the children will not leave. Kids are going to be here the whole time. Get comfy. To set the lullaby environment, I'd like to invite the choir forward as we sing you our first song today.
Every Sunday morning, along with Unitarians and Universalists and Unitarian Universalists around the world, we light a flaming chalice as a symbol of welcome and hope. Let us feel together the blessings of beloved community worldwide. We have some chalice lighting going on here, and as they do, let's say our covenant. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives it life. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant. And now will you stand and sing with me number 101 in the gray hymnal, Abide With Me.
Now, I told y'all the little secret is that this whole service is for you. But I didn't want you to feel like I didn't think about you while I was planning it. And so I picked something that's even more specifically for you that I wanted to read. Who do you think Andrea Bocelli is? Have you heard that name before? You've heard that name before? Say again? An artist. Yeah, I mean, in a very good way he is. Andrea Bocelli is an Italian pop and opera singer. And he is so famous partially because he's blind, but even more because his voice is amazing. And he has this really famous song that's sung all over the world for people who are in love. But one time he went onto Sesame Street, and instead of saying it was time to say goodbye, it was time to say goodnight. Now I'm going to be singing a lot, so I don't want to sing it for you, but I do want to read you it like a poem. Would that be okay? So many excited nods, thank you. Andrea says to Elmo, and they lived happily ever after. Aw, that was a nice story. Okay, Elmo. Time to close your eyes and get to sleep.
Oh, Mr. Andrea Bocelli, does Elmo have to?
Elmo, we have had a story, a song. It's late and you must be sleepy. Elmo isn't sleepy. Elmo wants some water and another story. Elmo's eyes are open, wide awake, and Elmo doesn't feel so snory. Time to say goodnight. Lie down. Here's your bear. You've had such a wonderful day, playing and counting to 20, and going to the park with your friends. So now, don't you give me a hug? Won't you give me a hug? It's time to say goodnight.
Elmo doesn't wanna. Elmo isn't tired. Elmo wants to stay up. You don't have to worry. Elmo makes a promise. Elmo will be okay up.
Elmo's not gonna wake up. It's time to say goodnight. Relax and close your eyes. You need to get plenty of rest. You've got a full day tomorrow. Playing games, dancing, and saying the alphabet. So now won't you give me a kiss? It's time to say goodnight. So, good night. Mr. Bocelli, please. Elmo's trying to sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. It's just for you. My friends Mark and Julie were just putting on a really, really wonderful set of stories called the Big Jam Stories, centered around a kid named Little Boy and his adventures through the Big Jam. And so I invited them to sing one of the lullabies from that and say one of the stories leading into it.
Hello, everyone. I was going to read a story for you, and then we'll do a little song, a little lullaby. This is right at the beginning of the book, and it says, "You may or you may not know this, friend. Humans are born with what they call a soft spot." You guys know what a soft spot is? Or what folk once used to call a spirit hole. Little Boy, to be quite honest about it, had a very large spirit hole, which never closed away properly. And even grown up, as a 5-year-old, Little Boy still had an open mind. According to great-grandfather's notes in the journal, great-grandmother loved the soft spot, and she would pet the delicate hairs covering the soft spot, and she'd call it the squo aluk, like a skull hole, and she would whisper stories into it in her great-grandmother language. And when Little Boy napped, grandmother would put her knuckled hand on the soft spot and feel the warm, fine, wispy hairs. And all this while, she would transmit love, warmth into her adopted great-grandboy as he lay in the warm cradle of her lap, scrunched up like a woolly dog blanket. Friend, in this way you can imagine great-grandmother's hand on the soft spot as she whispered the old dreams into the spot. And his little boy was so open-minded, you can imagine how the dreams and the songs would get in there. And you can imagine great-grandmother's knuckles and chuckles and jokes going in there too. Like seeds into the sweet earth, a moonlit cranium garden. The moral is, the vibrations of language and culture come to us and shape us like mud figures, even if we don't remember how, nor why, nor when, nor whom. And this song is called the Good Night Song, and it was written by little boy's mother.
Good night, my little one. Good night, good night. I love you so. Good night, sweet dreams, my love. Good night. Remember me when you go to foggy fields where warm winds blow, where creepers creep and green things grow, where time moves slow, my darling, know I love you wherever you go. Tick tock, my little soul, tick tock, and bring you back to me. Good night, sweet dreams, my dear. Good night. Remember me there. Remember me where you go, wherever you go.
The next piece of music is a lullaby from Spain by a composer named Manuel de Falla. And its lyrics translate to, "Good night, my child. Good night, my treasure. Sleep, my little light. Sleep until tomorrow." Jane, would you please come up?
We sing lullabies during the in-between time, as day turns to night, to ease the transition, perhaps. Not because the dark is dangerous, but because we need to know that in time, once again, the world will wake for us, and we for the world. In this season of winter solstice, it's traditional to light fires in the dark to give warmth and comfort as the night stretches on and on. And so, shall we? Last Sunday, we had an insert in the order of service on which we invited you to write a word to represent what impression you would like your lullaby to bring into the life of a child and into the life of an adult. We copied those blessings onto little slips of paper, mixed them up, and put them in your order of service today. Please accept these as blessings offered to you from another person in this beloved community. For our burning bowl ritual, after the choir sings this next song, we invite you to come forward and place one of these blessings into the fire, which will be here, that it may represent what you would like to pass along. That this intention may then circulate among us all and taken in by someone who needs it. Feel free to write something of your own on the back if you wish. And as you place it into the fire, speak the one word that you have chosen into the microphone. So let's come up from the sides, I think would work best, and then go back to center. So we don't have to, well, one way or another, we might do some negotiating here. So the other blessing is for you to hold or to give away or to release later on in your own personal ritual. There are a few extra slips at the end of the pews if you didn't get one. And don't worry, this has been tested. We dramatically increased our ventilation in here during the pandemic, and there's a fire extinguisher right there. So, will the choir come forward to give us another lullaby? Lullabies, sung or imagined from afar, can be an occasion of mutual imprinting, adult to child, child to adult, receiving and giving, giving and receiving. As you drop your paper into the burning bowl now, please say what is on the slip of paper you've chosen, for example, for a child, coziness, and feel the warmth of our collective offerings. I'll begin. For a child, rest. And go ahead.
For a child, dream.
For a child, calmness.
For an adult, security.
For a child, security.
For a child, being open.
For a child, calmness.
For an adult, stillness.
For a child, love.
For an adult, solace.
For a child, protection.
For an adult, belonging.
For a child, rest.
For an adult, togetherness.
For a child, sweet. For a child, mischief.
For both child and adult, repose.
For a child, warmth.
For a child, safety.
For an adult, accepted.
For a child, love.
For an adult, hope.
For a child, quiet.
For an adult, peacefulness.
For a child, love.
For a child, love.
For a child, comfort.
For those of you on Zoom, feel free to type what you'd like to say into the chat. You get extra dispensation to say a whole sentence if you would like, and then I will read from the chat later on.
For a child, peace.
For a child, love.
For a child, bubbles.
For an adult, peace.
For an adult, dream.
For an adult, belonging.
For a child, safety.
For an adult, friendship.
For a child, courage.
For a child, embraced.
For an adult, hope.
For everyone, loved.
For an adult, comfort.
For an adult, visions.
For a child, adventure.
For a child, repose.
For an adult, acceptance.
For an adult, confidence.
For child, love.
For all, security.
For an adult, you.
For a child and adult, safety.
For a child, wonder.
For a child, peace.
For an adult, mindfulness.
For a child, repose.
For an adult, restfulness.
For a child, patience.
For an adult, calling.
For a child, love.
For a child, truth.
For a child and an adult, protection.
For an adult, bravery.
For all, love.
For a child, warmth.
For all, curiosity.
For an adult, kindness.
Child, imagination.
For a child, safety.
Okay, say it.
For a child, responsibility.
Possibilities, there we go.
For an adult, joy.
For an adult, acceptance.
For a child, bubbles.
Get the irony of this one. Okay, for all?
For all.
For all. Safety. For all, serenity.
For an adult, sacred.
For those of you with limited mobility, I will come around and pick up your slip if you'd like and place it in with your word for later.
For a child, hope.
For an adult, bravery.
For a child, possibilities.
For a child, dear.
For an adult, dreams.
For an adult, rest.
For an adult, grace.
For a child, sing.
For an adult, sing. And for a child, running.
For a child, sleep.
For an adult, belonging.
For an adult, stillness.
For an adult, serenity.
For a child, comfort.
For an adult, hope.
For a child, joy.
For an adult, laughter.
For an adult, stillness.
For a child, imagination.
For a child, settle.
For a child, sunshine. For another child, joy.
For everyone, light.
For an adult, community. For an adult, equanimity. For a child, chocolate. Receiving and giving, giving and receiving. May we all be blessed in our goings and in our returns.
You just heard 200 people say, I love you in very, very different ways. And I hope you know that we love you very, very much. And I hope you have a deeper understanding of how much you love them and each other too. This next song I want to sing for you before our offering is a song that I sang to my great-grandma when she was in hospice in 2019. And I first learned it singing with the Bellingham Norwegian Men's Chorus in 2018 before they folded. And it's in Swedish, but I made an English translation as well that I'll sing after the Swedish words. So keep your ears peeled. Tanke var strider blånöten ser toner och seder im viladen bär hjärta som lider av dagens gny. Toner till er vill det fly. Tired I am at my long day's night. Stirring I ask for some music this load make light. Please, Lord, I ask thee a lullaby and my rest. Yes, child, I grant thee a bed and then the best. Let's take our offering, damn it. I've made it no secret that this service is to remind us of what we needed when we were kids, and to let kids know that we're there for them through the whole of this service. Let's sing a hymn about it, shall we? Here's 191, Now I Recall My Childhood.
And I have a few more things collected for the burning bowl. For a child, love. For an adult, together. For a child, hope. For an adult, kindness. For a child, beautiful. And just a couple of announcements before we go. It's great to see so many newcomers. I hope you will stay afterward for us to join with us for coffee and refreshments downstairs. Give us a chance to get to know you and you to get to know us. In your order of service today, there's an announcement about living in Palestine. This event is actually Tuesday, December 10th, rather than Monday. And this is put on by our Social and Environmental Justice Committee and Amnesty International of Bellingham, with a speaker from the West Bank and Palestine in honor of International Human Rights Day. And today, here at Buff in the sanctuary, a town hall gathering to support queer youth in this county. So that's 3 o'clock here today. And do some fellows about the drum real quick. Okay. You want to say something?
I have 2 wishes for you today for this benediction. The first wish I have for you is that you take this time to remember what it was like to live and love as a child, and let it inform the way you live and love all through this week and all through your life. Let's stand for our circle round.
And sing it like a lullaby.